Now, changes to the law this week mean that online platforms have to implement more safety measures. It's all about reducing the risk of illegal content online. But despite these new rules, so many of us feel that our kids are just not protected enough. Well, technology expert Lara Lewington is here. We were talking earlier on, this whole thing has been sparked by adolescents, you know, people watching that on Netflix.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. And, you know, we've all talked about it. There's been a lot of hand-wringing. There's been a lot of, oh, this is awful. But what we need is, well, a bit of help to try and find something absolutely positive that we can do to help ourselves.
Indeed,
the online
well, that's it. The Online Safety Act came into force on Monday. This means that platforms now need to assess any harmful content for risk, and they need to mitigate any risks that are found.
Yeah.
But many people don't think that this is enough. So this is dealing with serious content. We're talking about suicide content, self-harm, terrorism, any sort of violence. But there's a lot it doesn't cover. And I know you had Ian Russell on the show earlier this week.
We did indeed.
And he doesn't feel this has gone far enough. No. This should have been a watershed moment. But actually, what we're experiencing is, yes, something's happened and something is better than nothing. But what about all of the risks this doesn't help with?
Exactly.
Misinformation, disinformation, these can be extremely dangerous and damaging, not to mention AI chatbots. The technology is moving fast, embracing new technology is happening quickly, and legislation is quite slow.
Very slow, very slow. We can't have that, it's glacial. What can we do? Right now, this morning, what could parents who are out there thinking, geez, I don't understand this world, I don't know what to do?
Yes, I'm going to show you some things, but first of all, I think we need to set the scene here. The world is imperfect and kids find ways around things. So you can have the greatest safety in the world, but we still need to make sure that our kids know what to do when they face harmful or disturbing content, because we can't block them from it all forever. But we can try to do things to make things better and hope that they don't have a second phone and hope they're not going to see something when they go to their friend's house.
Right.
So first of all, let's start with YouTube. Now, there is, of course, kids' YouTube. So kids, especially younger kids, could be using that. You'd hope they're not going to be unsupervised anyway. Plenty of age-appropriate content. But the reality is that a lot of things that children want to watch are not on kids' YouTube, and I mean things that they could legitimately be watching. Things even that are educational. So if they're into music, then backing tracks can often not be found on kids' YouTube, for example. Things that they actually usefully need. So a way of dealing with this is to go into an adult YouTube account and set them up their own separate account on it. And you can go into the Family Centre.
You're doing that right now.
Here.
Look at that.
Yes, that's right. And here we have our fictional Lorraine child. We'll click on the child, and then you can choose what age the child is. So preschool, younger or older. The content will be age appropriate. They can't post comments. They also can't see comments. And the parent can see anything that they've been looking at.
Is that easy enough to set that up? People are not going to be blindsided by the tech.
Well, it's pretty simple. I've just run through here what to do by going into your settings, but obviously you can easily search online or use an AI chatbot and it'll talk to you and tell you what to do along with doing it. That's what I do for any technical problems. Realise not everybody does. Let's talk Instagram. Obviously, Instagram is used a huge amount, but it shouldn't be being used by anybody under 13. Now, there are now teen accounts available for 13 to 17-year-olds. And this means that it has a lot of protection in place already. So they're all private accounts. You can only be followed by people that you know, so you have to accept who's following you. And again, no comments. So there are some protections there in place. You need to verify with age, so that's how old you are.
Yeah, because 13 is a big difference between 13 content and 17-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely, in terms of content, but also needing to prove that age. Now, if a 13 to 17-year-old already has an account and it's not a teen account, well, you can go into settings within the account. I'm just demonstrating here again what to do, and you need to scroll down. It's quite far down on the page here, and you go into the Family Centre. And from there, you can make the right selections. Our internet connection is being a little bit slow, but here you can select the invite your teen to make sure that they have the right setup. And again, it just has those protections automatically in place. So it's a matter of doing these settings right. Even on a mobile phone, your mobile phone provider has its own app. You can go into that app. Here's an example here. And you can set it up for age-appropriate content and parental settings.
Right, so it's worth having a go at that and just making sure you know that... Because I don't think half of us know what's available on our phones. We don't even know.
Well, there's also, at home, your home Wi-Fi at router level, you can put parental settings on that. But the issue often with that is it ends up blocking things that you legitimately want to use. Sometimes even WhatsApp can have problems.
Right.
But don't give up on it because of that, because you can actually you'll go into the company's website or their web app, and you can actually then allow certain websites. So if you find it's blocking things you actually need, well, there is a way around that.
Right, OK. And is there a way, because obviously you think, you know, we've said this before, but when your kid's in your house, your child's in your house, you think that they're safe in their bedrooms. They're not. They're online so long. Can you limit the time that they spend online?
You can. You can limit the time on all of these platforms. You can limit it. You can limit it on their devices. Again, they may find ways around it because the kids are often more tech-savvy than the adults. But there's also some schools in the southeast of England have been trialling an app called Blackout. So kids who have smartphones and have them with them at school, well, anything they shouldn't be using at school, so games, cameras, social networks, are all blocked for a certain time through the day, whereas you can access other things.
Right, exactly. Do you think that we should just not give our children a smartphone? Is that...
A lot of people would suggest that's the answer. I have a 12-year-old daughter who doesn't have a smartphone. Many of her friends also don't have smartphones. I think we were probably the first year of parents who actually had this conversation. So rather...
this one?
Well, rather amusingly, some of your young producers were describing this as a brick phone. Now, you and I know what a brick phone was.
These big giant ones that used to have to charge up in the car. I remember
these are sometimes called dumb phones as opposed to smartphones, but they are not the giant bricks.
Yeah.
So if you give your child something like this as an alternative, well, they can also have a tracking device. So if you're worried about the fact that you don't have access to something like Life 360 that people may be using on a smartphone, well, there are ways of keeping your child away from the access to that phone while still being able to track their activity.
Exactly. And we don't, you know, I'm not in to banning things, but obviously harmful stuff. But then sometimes the internet is hilarious. Like this morning, I was coming in this morning and apparently there's all this, you know, all the documents were released, well, not all of them, but some on the JFK assassination back in the 60s. And there's a spoof one. It looks actually pretty authentic, but when you read it properly, it is saying that the shooter in Dallas, Texas, on the 22nd of November, 1963, was Miss Penelope Keith. I mean, star of The Good Life. And, of course, the internet has done its thing.
It's ridiculous.
And now we have got mad, crazy memes. I mean, we know that this wonderful woman, there she is, she's getting taken away by the FBI.
It's incredible what goes viral.
It's incredible what goes... There she is, looking out from the book depository window to the grassy knoll opposite. And this one, that's, if you remember The Good Life, that was one of the funniest things, The Good Life. But they're saying, exclusive explosive new footage of Penelope Keith escaping across the grassy knoll. Can I just say, for anybody watching, Penelope Keith did not kill President Kennedy. I can't imagine in any world that I would have had to have said that out loud to you, but I have. Thank you very much. The internet is crazy, but sometimes can be very funny. Well, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We have all the best moments from the show right here on the channel. And if you like this video, then we think you'll love this one. See you next time.